What is going on, everyone? My name is Jamon McKinney, but of course you can just call me Juice because that is my nickname. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, into the Juice Alert. If you have not subscribed to the Juice Alert already, be sure to do that right about now. You will not regret it. You can find the Juice Alert on YouTube as well as podcasting platforms. That includes Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that great stuff. If you enjoy what you are watching and listening to, be sure to leave the show a like and also a good rating and review on podcasting networks. And be sure to share with all your family and friends. We'd love to continue to grow the show on many, many different platforms. Also, follow me on social media, me, Jamon McKinney. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter /X, TikTok, all those platforms you can find me, as well as content regarding the Juice Alert. I'm going to put the handles to my social media on the screen for you guys to list off and maybe take some time to pause and screenshot, jot down, whatever you want to do right here on YouTube if you're watching. These links to my social media account will also be in the description of this episode for you guys that just want to jot it down there. And also for those of you that are just solely listening on a podcasting network, also check out MLBBro.com. You can find MLBBro.com's content pretty much on the same platforms you would find me, Jamon McKinney, and the Juice Alert. You can find MLBBro.com's content on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. I believe they're on TikTok as well. Be sure to check out MLBBro.com. You will find content regarding what I have to say regarding Major League Baseball from an African-American perspective, as well as from a lot of other different people, including the likes of Rob Parker, you name it. There's a lot of great people on our staff and our team that love to cover the game of baseball and talk baseball. We'd love to have you guys, check that out right there. One of the biggest storylines of the 2023-2024 season has been Draymond Green was recently suspended indefinitely for punching Jusuf Nurkic in the face. Now, Draymond Green has claimed that he did not intentionally mean to punch Nurkic in the face. I flatly don't believe the guy. And even if Draymond Green is a genuine person and he's not lying, it's hard to believe that we should believe Draymond Green, because what evidence has Draymond Green given us to give this guy the benefit of the doubt? Okay, let's go over his timeline throughout the NBA, not just the last, year and a half, where the guy punches his teammate Jordan Poole in the face, and that derails the entire Golden State Warriors season before it even begins. I mean, this guy in the playoffs was stomping on Sabonis. He's choking and dragging Rudy Gobert to the ground, and now just out of nowhere, punching Nurkic in the face. I mean, that's just in the last year and a half, people. We can't forget about the fact that this guy flatly just openly punched Steven Adams in the groin. Okay, but let's not forget about that. And also the fact that this guy tried to poke the bear that was LeBron James, and it ultimately got him suspended in the 2016 finals, and that was a crucial series for Golden State. I mean, you're a 73-9 team with a chance to make history, and Draymond Green once again gets in the way. Now, I'm not blaming Draymond Green for that entire collapse, because the Cleveland Cavaliers had to win 4 games to win the championship, and Draymond Green was only missing in one of those games out of 7. So if you're Golden State, you got to cry about that some other time. And I'm not going to blame Draymond Green solely for that collapse. But the reality is Draymond Green is a repeat offender. And when you're a repeat offender in society, in the real world, and outside of basketball, you sometimes get jail time, people. So when it comes to Draymond Green, I don't feel sorry for the guy. I think the NBA 100% got it right with the indefinite suspension. And let me just say, I hope Draymond Green has learned his lesson. I hope that none of these crazy antics come up once again, because it's just silly, childish behavior, and it is a distraction for the Golden State Warriors. The juice is no longer worth the squeeze. Once, a long time ago, Draymond Green was this impactful defensive player, this Swiss Army knife, this guy that exemplified great leadership qualities, No more of that. I mean, this guy is just good for just stomping and punching teammates at this point. The high-end quality stuff that made Draymond Green's brand what it is, which was a hard-nosed, tough defender that could occasionally hit some threes and contribute to winning basketball in Golden State. It was one of the more underrated passers in the league. A lot of that stuff has vanished, and now it's just Draymond Green. Anytime he gets upset and faces some adversity, he just starts trying to tussle and punch people. That's not real life basketball. It is a distraction. It is toxic behavior. And the Golden State Warriors should not want anything to do with it. In fact, the Golden State Warriors have looked just fine without Draymond Green in these past couple games when Draymond has been suspended. But let me just say this right now. This is not even me hating on Draymond Green in any way, shape, or form, because I'm not a hater. I'm a truth teller. But I just want to make that very clear, because what I'm about to say probably is going to ruffle some feathers right here. I really flatly don't care. Would anyone be shocked if Draymond Green is out of an NBA job sooner rather than later? Let's break this down and think about it, people. I would not be shocked if Draymond Green is flatly out of the NBA in a few years' notice. Because here's the thing. When you're no longer this high-end productive player, you're expendable in the NBA. That's just flatly how it is. It is a business. You look at a guy like Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony is a top 10 all-time scorer, top 10 all-time in points scored in NBA history. The minute NBA teams felt that Carmelo Anthony could no longer contribute to winning, they blackballed the guy from the league. And Carmelo Anthony is a model citizen. He's a good guy, a good teammate. Not even close to causing the nonsense that Draymond Green caused. So you mean to tell me that they're going to potentially blackball and not give Carmelo Anthony an opportunity? What on God's green earth do you think the NBA is going to do regarding Draymond Green? They're not going to give this guy a chance. Because here's the thing. Let's list off some teams. Because if Draymond Green is acting up in Golden State with Stephen Curry and Steve Kerr babysitting him, Steve Kerr and Stephen Curry are about as good as it gets. Model citizens, really nice people, unselfish human beings that understand Draymond's tendencies. Draymond Green lashes out in front of them. A-plus level parenting, and just doesn't seem to matter. He's going to go rogue no matter what. Is a team like maybe the Los Angeles Lakers willing to deal with this? I don't think Darvin Ham will want anything to do with Draymond Green. I don't think LeBron James would want anything to do with Draymond Green having to babysit this guy and his crazy antics. I mean, LeBron, he's at the later stages of his career. He just wants to go out there and have fun and play ball. He's not trying to babysit anyone. Oh, the Denver Nuggets, they just won a championship. They could use a hard-nosed guy like Draymond Green. If I'm the Denver Nuggets, why on earth would I bring in Draymond Green to stir the pot in my locker room? I've already got a great championship core. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I don't think Draymond Green would fit into the championship culture that is the Denver Nuggets, a team that kind of flies under the radar, not about headlines. Meanwhile, Draymond Green, he's a walking, punching headline. Literally, people. Oh, the Chicago Bulls. You can add him to that young core. If I'm the Chicago Bulls GM, I would want nothing to do with Draymond Green. I don't want him getting on Kobe White and messing up his development. We'll pass. Oh, the San Antonio Spurs. What about them? Folks, do you really think Greg Popovich, of all people, wants to deal with Draymond Green and his childish antics? No way, no how, not even twice on Sunday. So, the juice to me just is flatly not worth the squeeze. And if Draymond Green has one more crazy incident where he flips out and does something crazy, at some point the NBA is going to step in and revoke privileges of him, ultimately potentially for good. And if Draymond Green is not shining on the court, to the point where he's this highly, highly productive player that, you got to have Draymond Green in your team or else you're screwed, then Draymond Green is done for. And I think we're at that stage in Draymond Green's career where he's not in his prime anymore. And he doesn't contribute to winning as much. So when you're in that bubble, you can't have these mess ups. You can't be punching people in the face. You can't be stomping people. You can't be, causing a scene in the locker room. I mean, it's a toxic, bad situation. So I truly hope Draymond Green gets the counseling that he needs and gets the help that he needs, because Draymond Green could be out of the NBA sooner rather than later if he does not get his act together. But that's just ultimately how I feel. Love to hear what you guys have to say as well. So when it comes to Kevin Durant, I was very, very excited when Kevin Durant got traded to the Phoenix Suns. I was definitely bummed out that it didn't quite work out in Brooklyn. I mean, we saw some great masterclasses from Kevin Durant himself in Brooklyn, but they never came close to winning a championship in Brooklyn with Kevin Durant being the centerpiece. It was a lot of mess in Brooklyn. Not all Kevin Durant's fault, because ultimately I felt Kevin Durant gave it his all. Now, were there some mistakes made along the way with Kevin Durant kind of being a mini GM to a certain degree? Yes, most certainly. But the harsh reality is that Kevin Durant, was bailed on by James Harden and Kyrie Irving, two guys that are Hall of Fame talents that Kevin Durant trusted and wanted to bring in. And they kind of just were in a different headspace. Kyrie Irving obviously came to Brooklyn because Kevin Durant was going to be there. And James Harden, he came to Brooklyn, but we all know James Harden loves to play hot potato with teams, and you had the whole Kyrie Irving vaccine situation. Kyrie Irving's not available to play. Either he's hurt, disinterested, or can't get the vaccine. It was a mess. They never got the chemistry together. Maybe the rosters weren't quite good enough in certain ways, but it was just one of those things where it was just unfortunate, So when Kevin Durant gets traded to the Phoenix Suns, I felt it was a great move, because Phoenix was a team that was kind of knocking on the door, has Devin Booker in his prime, and they just need that one superstar level piece to kind of take them over the hump. And I will say it hasn't quite been what I thought it would be in Phoenix. You got to give credit to the Denver Nuggets. It seemed like they were just going to be unstoppable as long as Nikola Jokic just put his head down and said, I'm going to be the best player on the planet, and Jamal Murray and these guys are going to follow me. And Denver was a smart team. They had great chemistry, had home court advantage throughout the playoffs. And, the Phoenix Suns ran into a buzzsaw. They dealt with some injuries in the playoffs. They really didn't have the depth around Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. And now this season, it's a whole different roster. New head coach, Frank Vogel coming in, a defensive-minded guy. How's it going to work? All these new moving parts. Kevin Durant has missed a little bit of time this season. Devin Booker has missed a little bit of time. Bradley Beal has barely even played this season. So, look, all I'm saying is I'm not bailing on Phoenix as far as potentially winning a championship in the Kevin Durant era. It's just gotten off to a rocky start, but we'll see what happens. But all I'm going to say is when it comes to Kevin Durant, Devin Booker will help extend Kevin Durant's NBA career. Now, when it comes to Kevin Durant, this is a guy that's talented enough to play basketball for however long he wants to, as long as he stays relatively healthy. I mean, Kevin Durant this season, in his 16th season, at age 35, is giving you 31 points per game, shooting at a high efficiency clip, playing great defense. He's blocking shots. He's passing the ball very well. He's playing great winning basketball. Kevin Durant is looking like potentially he could be back in the MVP race for sure. He's still an elite player even at this stage in his career. And we know Kevin Durant can tap into that best player in the world circle whenever he wants to, as long as he has the support around him and really can, drive things home. But here's the thing. When it comes to Devin Booker is only 27 years old. And Devin Booker seems to be willing to take the reins from Kevin Durant and be the Suns' not only best player, but leader of that franchise. Because Devin Booker is a natural alpha. He's a natural leader. He wants the ball in his hands in the fourth quarter with the game on the line, with a chance to tie it up or win the game. He wants to be that vocal guy in the locker room. He really cares about his craft. He very much like Kevin Durant is a basketball junkie, where he's going to work on his craft and continue to just be a hooper year in and year out. You're not going to worry about, these off the court distractions with Devin Booker, because he's just trying to hoop. He's just trying to win. And that's what you like to see. And this could be a Los Angeles Lakers type situation where Kevin Durant comes to Phoenix, very much like LeBron James came to Los Angeles at the later stages of his career. And LeBron was still LeBron James and is still LeBron James to this day, meaning he's capable of being the best player in the world on any given night. And hopefully at some point, once LeBron James kind of, ages a little bit, aka Kevin Durant getting a little bit older, Devin Booker is primed and ready to take over this franchise and be the undisputed best player on the team. Now, we saw Anthony Davis, in Devin Booker's shoes in Los Angeles regarding LeBron James, where Anthony Davis won a championship, was excellent in that NBA Finals run where the Lakers squeezed out a title, several years ago in the bubble. But it just seems like ever since that point, Anthony Davis has failed to take that leap forward, has struggled to kind of stay healthy, maybe isn't as in shape as you would like him to be. And it just seems like Anthony Davis isn't that alpha and that guy that ultimately, truly wants the keys to this franchise that is the Los Angeles Lakers. Meanwhile, Devin Booker, he'll gladly take the keys from Kevin Durant once Kevin Durant kind of, wants to hang things up and, say, okay, Devin, it's truly your time. Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, it just seems like these are selfless guys that just want to win. Now, Devin Booker's kind of being asked to be the point guard at this point for Phoenix. And it's a little bit untraditional, and it's very interesting because Devin Booker is a unique point guard. He is a great scorer and a willing facilitator, but that's naturally not his game. So I'd like to see Devin Booker not have so much tunnel vision to where he's just kind of, looking to score all the time, where sometimes you got to sacrifice and get other people involved. So that's the next step I would like to see Devin Booker take. But when it comes to Devin and Kevin, this has the chance to go down as one of the best duos in NBA history. And I truly believe that Kevin Durant, look, he's going to age gracefully as long as he stays relatively healthy, like I said, because Kevin Durant's Kevin Durant. I mean, this guy is one of the best scorers the NBA has ever seen. I mean, this guy is a two-time NBA Finals MVP. This is a guy that's one of the best players of the modern NBA, for sure. The influence on basketball Kevin Durant has had is unprecedented. I mean, the skill level, the talent. I mean, scoring just comes natural to this guy. So Kevin's going to be Kevin, but it's going to be great to see potentially a situation where Kevin Durant, down the stretch, as he gets older, he won't have to be able to carry the team. Now, we'll see what the supporting cast looks like because right now, it seems like these guys are struggling to kind of get on Devin Booker and Kevin Durant's, runway, I would say, to the point where they're not all the way up to speed, So we'll see how the supporting cast continues to look, but I really think that Kevin Durant and Devin Booker have a chance to be an all-time special duo, and Devin Booker will help extend Kevin Durant's career, no doubt about it, because Devin Booker, let's not forget, people, in Devin Booker's first ever playoff series, he outplayed LeBron James. He got the Phoenix Suns to the NBA Finals, being arguably the best player on the team. I know a lot of people love to glaze Chris Paul. And listen, Chris Paul is an NBA Hall of Famer, legendary point guard. But it's one of those things where this was Chris Paul in the later stages of his career. And statistically and performance-wise, even though we have to take into account how great of a leader Chris Paul was, we cannot ignore the level of production that Devin Booker gave the Phoenix Suns on that great run that he had that unfortunately came to an end when Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks came to town and said, our time is now. And that's not a knock on Devin Booker because Giannis is Giannis and the Bucks were a very talented team. It just seemed like they were destined to win the series that year. But yeah, when it comes to Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, they have a chance to be all-time special. It will all come down to how healthy they can be and the supporting cast around them, no doubt about it. Last but not least, I want to talk about Bill Belichick. So, it's pretty clear, according to reports, that the Patriots, at least based on reports, are trying to move on from Bill Belichick by the end of the 2023-2024 NFL season. So, the question I want to answer is, would essentially firing and moving on from Bill Belichick be the right move for the New England Patriots? Personally, for me, if the New England Patriots were to move on from Bill Belichick, I'm okay with it. I've got flatly no problems with it. Because here's the thing. Let's break it all down. If Bill Belichick were to win a Super Bowl elsewhere, post New England, some people are going to be sour about that, but it's one of those things where I just think you have to tip your cap to the guy if it happens and say, good for him. Because right here, right now in New England, the infrastructure right now from within is flatly not good enough. It's not Super Bowl caliber, not Super Bowl level, and nor will it probably ever get to that point within a short notice amount of time. And you have to ask the question, why is this infrastructure not good enough? Why is this potential rebuild for the Patriots going to take longer than maybe 2 to 3 years to get back in that Super Bowl picture? Oh, it's because Bill Belichick was the guy running the ship, and essentially to a degree, and I don't mean to be harsh and mean right here, I'm just trying to evaluate the situation. It's one of those things where Belichick kind of just tore this whole thing down and was holding the New England Patriots back. And I'll give you several reasons why. First of all, bad draft classes. I mean, especially in terms of drafting wide receivers. Belichick can't draft receivers to save his life. And the Patriots, their skill position guys at wide receiver are some of the worst in the entire NFL. And that falls on Belichick because Belichick essentially has been the general manager during this time period where the Patriots have whipped on draft picks. Bill Belichick has been given too much power in New England. At least, maybe not given too much power, but has failed to relinquish some of his power when he's clearly in a declining stage. He will not relinquish general manager duties. And this is the same Bill Belichick that hired Matt Patricia, a defensive specialist, and a defensive coordinator to run his offense. What? What are you doing, Bill? That's a clueless move. A defensive specialist is going to run your offense? That doesn't make very much sense. And then you bring in your old buddy Bill O'Brien to run the offense? That hasn't really worked out that much. I don't think a lot of people are running to Bill O'Brien to say, oh yeah, Bill O'Brien has to be the coordinator for my offense because he's so great. No, that's not the case. And the thing is, Bill Belichick refuses to adapt and change his philosophy. That's where we're at regarding Bill Belichick, because years ago, Belichick was winning with just a great run game, a great defense and special teams, and off the greatness of Tom Brady. And once Tom Brady leaves you, and it's a whole different game and a different NFL than it was 15 to 20 years ago, it's all about quarterback and weapons nowadays. Quarterback and wide receiver, to me, you can make the argument those are the two most important things. I know defense really still truly matters, but if you don't have a great quarterback and you don't have the weaponry to put up points in the NFL these days, you are flatly screwed. You're not going to be a Super Bowl contender. And there's been a shift in football overall regarding this, even in college. Nick Saban, legendary coach, built a great dynasty at Alabama, just like Bill Belichick built a great dynasty in New England. Even Nick Saban realized, I got to make adjustments. I no longer can just rely on defense and running game and special teams to win titles. I got to bring in 4 and 5 star recruits at quarterback, NFL level quarterbacks. Spread the ball out, get more weapons, get more dynamic. And here's the thing, people. Why would the Patriots even feel the need to be greedy at this point regarding Bill Belichick? Don't you kind of feel like that you're willing to let Bill ride into the sunset on his own? You got 6 Super Bowl rings out of Bill Belichick in New England. This is not an Aaron Rodgers type situation where Aaron Rodgers is this all-time great quarterback, has the potential to go down as the greatest to ever do it, and in Green Bay was only able to capture 1 Super Bowl. To me, to this day still, I just feel like Green Bay didn't quite do enough to squeeze out more Super Bowls regarding Aaron Rodgers. But this is not that situation. This is one of those situations where sometimes you just need a shift and a change in the building, a breath of fresh air. You look at Philadelphia with Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl in Philadelphia, but Philadelphia realized when things were kind of going wrong that, hey, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Let's move on from Doug Peterson. And up to this point, it has been flatly probably the right move because the Philadelphia Eagles, they still got back to a Super Bowl of recent, and I think they have a chance to win a Super Bowl over the next 4 to 5 seasons with the infrastructure they have. So if Bill Belichick stays in New England, I just flatly believe it's only going to get more and more ugly, not only for Bill Belichick and his brand, but for the Patriots overall. And this is an organization that has standards, has championship level pedigree. I understand that Tom Brady was a huge reason why that was the case, but if you're a well run franchise, it can't just be all about one guy. So if they were to move on from Bill Belichick, it would be sad. It would be probably a little bit bittersweet, but I think it's the right move if you move on from Bill Belichick. And if Bill Belichick crushes it somewhere else, you gotta just tip your hat to the guy. But ultimately, I don't think you can justify keeping Bill Belichick in New England because at this point, I think Bill Belichick in New England, they've run stale, they're outdated. I think Bill Belichick, more than anyone, could use a change, not only for himself, but for the Patriots in general, because I don't think Bill Belichick is this high-end level head coach that he once was. And also, the general manager duties have flatly sunk New England to a degree. And that falls on Belichick. He's the greatest of all time as far as a head coach is concerned in the NFL. But I just think it's time for a change in New England. That's ultimately how I feel. Well, folks, that's pretty much all I have today. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jamal McKinney. Thank you so much. Have a God-blessed day. Stay safe. Have a happy holidays. Close out your 2023 season strong if you're not doing it already. And be sure to leave this show a good rating and review and a like. It definitely helps me out right here. Have a God-blessed day. Stay safe, and I'm Ghost.